Well, hello everybody. How are you? Mitchell Osborne here. So, if you're joining me live, jump on quick. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching. I am going to be doing the new moon manifesting spread using the Tarot of Dreams tarot deck from Ciro Marchetti. The new moon is Eastern Standard Time, like 5:28 a.m. on Tuesday morning, the 24th. So we've got like 2 days before that. So if you're out there watching me live, hello. Let me know you're out there if you want and where you're watching from. I've got my coffee in my Milan Starbucks from the, what do you call the special roastery? I forget what they, Reserve. The Reserve Roastery from Milan, Italy. We were there literally a year ago now. So, yeah. And right now we're supposed to be on a cruise in China, Beijing, and Shanghai. So, we have a trail of places we go. I always feel like I'm healing the world as I go. So, yeah, in just about maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I'll do the spread for the collective. I did make an offering that if anybody wants to get one read live, just either Venmo me or PayPal me, $5 or more, and I would do that live. As of right now, I have not gotten anybody. So, and I said to do it before we started, but if somebody out there wants one, you can hit me up with that. If you're watching in the archive, then you'll just have to purchase the spread. I put the discount link in the notes of the event, and it's 20% off. And I do a 5-card spread. I'll show you what that 5-card spread is in just a moment. But let me see if I can find it. So the new moon manifesting spread. This is what it looks like. It's 5 cards. It is one of my favorites. For a couple reasons. One, it's short, it's succinct. Hey, Linda. And it's got great imagery because it's kind of like, as you can see, the first card is the seed. So when we're talking about manifesting. So this is the inspiration to nurture. So starting on Tuesday, the 24th of March, for the next 14 days or so, what seed do you want to nurture? What do you want to plant? And then how is it going to turn out? Second card would be the soil. So this is kind of like what you want to focus on, surround yourself with to nurture the growth. And then the third card is the stones. And in this metaphor, the stones kind of look like things that might hinder your growth. In my Orlando Tarot Tribe meetup, we kind of broke the spread down, and some people felt like, well, stones are very important, because they often will help aerate the water and things like that, especially if it's in a potted plant. But I think the thought behind the original person who designed the spread, it was not me, it's on my website, you can see who did, is that the stones would be a hindrance, get in the way, block growth, root growth, things like that. Then the fourth card is the sun, and that's kind of obvious in this whole thing. Like, what do you want to shine on it? What advice is going to be most beneficial for the progress? And then the last one, of course, most spreads have the outcome, and they use the term bloom, and that is the best manifestation of your current inspiration during this cycle. And when we were in my Orlando Tarot Tribe, when I was leading, dissecting a spread, we used this one. And I love alliteration, and I love symmetry. And, I'm looking at this and going, oh, seed, soil, stone, sun, bloom. So it's like, I kept thinking, how could we, and if you come up with the word, let me know. I won't change this person's spread, but I always thought it'd be cool if the fifth card was also an S card. I was trying to think of, what it could be, and I could never come up with something. So, yeah, in just about a minute, I'm going to go ahead and do the collective spread. I've got my Starbucks, I think it's French roast. I always do dark as if I can. I'm not a fan of pikes, but it will do in the afternoon when they're not brewing dark anymore. I did brew it at home. I did not go out. And this is my cup I got on my birthday in Milan a year ago at the first Starbucks in the entire country of Italy. Yes, I am a big Starbucks freak. mainly because of the taste of that dark coffee. I've always loved dark. If it tastes like a cigarette has been put out in it, it's perfect. It's perfect. So I'm going to be using the Tarot of Dreams. I'll show you the front. So this is the deck that US Games. Let me make sure I got it right. Yes, US Games put out with Ciro Marchetti, because Ciro originally did his own version of it, and it's a beautiful tuck box. The cards are, as you can see, not quite as big as this one. Close, but just a little bit smaller. And the card stock on this one is of Ciro's deck is really nice. It's a little more pliable than most. I like it, but it scares me like I'm going to crimp it. So when I found this deck that he partnered with US Games and they mass produced, of course I went and bought a secondhand one. So I'll keep his independently produced one, for me, private. So, all right, so let me go ahead. Hey, Natasha, please tell this mass and soon. Natasha, I did a couple lives in the last 7 days, and it depends on where you live. I think you're in Europe, if I remember correctly. And I just keep seeing a wave. Hey, Cora, I just keep seeing a wave of like where it started from. And the wave, I keep seeing like 5 to 9 weeks, which kind of like that 7 to 8 weeks, like 2 months is what I keep seeing. Oh, you're in Montreal. Okay. You're probably in a better place than the U.S. I think Canada has been pretty good. I'm not following a lot of news, but I think Canada's been pretty good about, shutting things down. But, the wave that I keep seeing in my mind is like, minimum 5 weeks, but it's more like 7, 8, 9 weeks of going through all of this stuff. And I spoke about Mother Earth being tired. I spoke about a releasing and a cleansing. I talked a lot about, for me, the animals have been speaking up a lot the last couple of days, 7 to 10 days. And I'm trying to post every time I get a message from them. I'm trying to post it. I usually go to Instagram because then it's easy to spread it everywhere else. So definitely, scroll through my sites, look at some of the live readings I've done, or live updates I've done. And there's a little more on that there. So, but thank you all for being here, whoever's here now. So let me dive in and do this new moon manifesting spread for the collective. So if you're watching this, you are the collective right now. So basically, I like to think if you stumbled across this reading, then it will somehow resonate with you. Maybe on a tiny bit, maybe on a grand scale. But what I'm a big fan of and a believer of is that if you open up your heart and your intuitive self, you can really, allow the spread to kind of resonate with you even more. Trust your own gut when I say things and how I say them, and see how it resonates with you. So, hey, MJ from South Africa. Hello, way down there. Hey, Norm. So Natasha said, when this is all over, I'm coming to Florida to visit you. Definitely. And I'll tell you, my husband and I went to Quebec and did a cruise out of there last September. And everybody kept talking about, like, I need to go to Montreal. I think we want to plan a trip where we can do like several days in Toronto and several days in Montreal, because I fell in love with Quebec City for sure. And I need to, like I said, go to Toronto and Montreal are two places that I've not ever really been. So, let me see. Let me see if I can share this. I always try to share this onto my other page. So let me see if I can do that. Yay, there it is. So sometimes it allows me to, sometimes it doesn't. All right, trying to share, and then I'm going to get to the spread, I promise. All right, news feed. There, okay, I shared it over on the other page. Let me put the volume down in case it jumps up. So, oh, thank you, Linda. Oh, I truly appreciate that. Truly appreciate that. So, all right, shuffle the cards. I've shuffled them enough. So this is for the collective. Let me shuffle one more time. All right. And so the seed. So as a collective, what is our seed that we want to nurture and focus on for the next 14 days? Starting from Tuesday, March 24th, about 14 days from there. So focus on our high priestess energy, our intuitiveness. And you guys, I'm also reminded today is a 22 day. And if you add up all the numbers, 3, 2, 2, and then 2020, you get the number 11. So this is a master number day, and it's a master number collective day. And then the high priestess is also that 2, that 11 energy, and it is a 2-2. So for the next 14 days, starting from Tuesday, really focus on your intuitive ability, your emotions, see where they take you, and also, trust your gut, trust your knowing, because the high priestess is very smart. She carries with her the Torah, the law. She's wise, she's intuitive, she's knowing. So really focus on that. So this is, and also being a number 2, this is really connect to those closest to you. If you're on quarantine, lockdown, whatever you want to call it, if there's somebody else in the house, really make honest connections with them. Really try to listen, really try to understand. If you are living alone and you're finding it a little bit of a challenge, if you got an animal, then really make a connection with them. Do some pet meditations or petitations, I didn't coin that, where you just sit and stare and connect with them. It can be very beautiful, very peaceful, very soothing. If you want more information about that, we can do a session on that. I could talk to you more about how to connect with your animal in a meditative state. All right, so card number 2, the soil. So this is what you want to surround yourself with to nurture the growth. So what do you want to surround yourself with? 2 of Swords. Oh, we're on a 2 spree here. And this is about finding balance, because you see that Libra sign up there. But this is about making decisions. So you surround yourself with, deciding what's going to help you find the balance, deciding what's going to be worth your time. And I want you to notice these 2 cards, the women are probably the same person. They each have a moon connected. So we're dealing with the new moon, and we're dealing with moon energy with these cards. And I love how, again, see how both of them, their heads are kind of back, their eyes are closed or blocked. So there's a little bit of kind of blind faith and trust, and almost turning inward that I really like. Thank you, MJ. So really, really connect with yourself, and then also be conscious of the relationships around you, and make sure that you're finding people that you can reach out to, especially if you're on your own. Now, the stones, this is definitely what to get rid of. What do you need to find and get rid of? Page of Cups. So normally, it's funny because normally pages are about learning, they're about growth. I feel like that this instance, the page is about kind of like immaturity, youngness. So be cautious and conscious where your emotions are taking you and leading you. But also with this internal connection, don't dive into your emotions too much right now, because this is what you want to be conscious of and get rid of. Because basically I would say, Page of Cups is about learning from your emotions. So now is not a time to learn from them, because this is not normal situation. And that leads me to go back into something I said the other day is, create as much normalcy in your life. If your normal weekday was wake up, breakfast, go to work, lunch, come home, make sure you're finding that. If you're working from home, set some standard hours, 8 to noon, I work, 1 to 5, I work. For me personally, I get up, I do my meditation every morning back here in the chair. And then I exercise. I just get that out of the way. One day I'll do a little bit of body step and body flow, which is step and yoga, because I teach those. And then the next day I'll just go walk around our lake, which is about a 50-minute walk. So I'm finding that, and that's keeping me flowing and moving. And then I have lunch. I do some posting, work with some clients because I open up a bunch of space. And then middle of the afternoon, I usually have my coffee, which is what I normally do. And then, Fabian and I have dinner and we watch TV usually at night, which is kind of standard, but we're watching a little bit more TV. I don't watch TV by myself. So find that normalcy. So what do you want to find and discard? The need to dig into your emotions right now. And I know I spoke of the high priestess turning inward, but this is turning inward to trust your intuition, not your emotions at this point. And that, for me, that is a very fine line. But basically, it's almost like do what you know you need to do, create as much normalcy as you can. Now, the Sun card, so this is the advice that's going to be most beneficial for your progress. Oh, right. This is like the CrossFit of cards. This is Sagittarius energy, 10 of Wands. This is about get the work done that you need to get done. So this is an opportunity for you to do some things in and around the house. For me, this is the exercise because I'm exercising more than I normally would because I've got every day free. I'm going to probably take one day a week off like I normally do, and it'll probably be Monday because I took this past Monday off because I was adjusting coming back. But yeah, so make sure you're doing the work, getting it done. And the 10 of Wands is very spiritual. It's very transformative. And again, I feel like this is more about turning inward, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition. And then the Bloom. So this is the best manifestation of your current inspiration during this cycle. Hermit. So what's the best thing you can manifest? Quiet alone time. I love it. And this is very Virgo, which is kind of opposite Moon because Moon is Pisces. So this is stepping into your opposite. So it's almost like at the end of the cycle, you're going to go, back into a little bit more of that kind of, peaceful, quiet time. And I know Natasha was asking, when's this going to be over? Well, in 2 weeks, I don't think it's going to be over yet. Because I think we'll still be kind of in the midst of it, depending on where you are in the world. In the U.S., I'm going to be honest with you, when the U.S., I keep seeing because like almost like March 14, 15 was when it really kind of cracked down. And I feel like Tax Day, which is April 15th, which I've heard they moved those back for 3 months. But I feel like Tax Day, April 15th, for me is going to feel like a pinnacle of sorts. And then I feel like by May 15th, we'll have some normalcy back. So basically, I'm seeing like 2 months, but I feel like the closer we get to that April 15th date, the closer we're going to get to more of the full-on lockdown. And I keep seeing parts of the country not as locked down. Larger cities, most of Florida, Atlanta, New York, those places, but smaller places in the Midwest and things like that, I don't know that they're going to have as big a lockdown as the rest. But yeah, I love that the Hermit comes up as the best manifestation of our current inspiration during this cycle, So, and Spirit just said in my ear, Spirit just said, it's not so much about that's going to be the manifestation, but by doing this work, by not, trying to learn too much from our emotions, but maybe just analyzing them, processing. In mindfulness, we just watch the emotions flow through us. I feel like what Spirit just said to me was, by the time we come to the end of this cycle, we're going to be comfortable with ourselves. We're going to be comfortable in this place of Hermit. I love being in Hermit mode. I'm Pisces, so this is my opposite. But I often love to go sit in a Starbucks with a book and a cup of coffee, not really communicating with anybody, but being surrounded by a bunch of people. So, my situation right now, I've got, 2 cats and a dog inside. I'm able to go out, exercise. My husband is, he still has clients that he gets to go to just one-on-one. So I have some interaction, and I feel like I'll be okay, but I feel like even more so, I'll be better. And I feel like this is what the spread is saying. We'll be better at the end of this, being comfortable with ourselves, being okay to be with ourselves. So Linda said, I miss eating out and going to the library. Oh, Linda, I hear you. I do miss sitting in a restaurant. I miss going to our movies because we pretty much went to about a movie a week. We have the Regal Movie Pass, which gets us unlimited movies a month. They put that on hold. So yeah, I really feel like, and I'm loving how, a lot of big corporations and companies and things and people are like, they're really seeing the writing on the wall in the sense of doing the right thing. There's still a lot of places, people, institutions, and beliefs of, getting as much as you can, out of what's going on right now. I put a whole bunch of things at 20% off discount. I'm going to leave that for now. Spirit might push me to discount some things even more depending on how far we go in, because I do know, and I'm trying to do these more just to be out there, to be and answer as many questions as I'm asked, and just to be more available, to step in a little bit more. I did my own spread just before I got on. I was like, oh, great. I need to be more the emperor. That's what I need. So I'm stepping out into that emperor mode, that leader mode, which I've always felt a leader, but just one who is very cautious and careful where he leads. And I'm just trying to be a little bit more vocal and out there for that. And I'm pretty much an optimistic person. I practice a lot of peace. From a high spiritual place, I can see the bigger picture in all of this. So yeah. So Samantha said, gonna learn how to grow your own food after this. Been wanting to buy, but this will make you stop procrastinating. So it's good. And you know what, Samantha, that's a beautiful lesson about how one person or society can take this situation and learn and grow from it. And that's what I think this is, because this is about working hard to find ways to transform things. 10 of Wands, the 10 is actually a 1. So that means you've made it through the cycle, 1 through 9, but we've ended, but we're different. We're changed. We're not going to go back to the way we were. And this is all about spirituality, transformation, creativity, that sexual kundalini energy. So Samantha, thanks for saying that, because that brought this out a little bit more deeper of why this came up. Because by the end of this, we will have done a lot of work, and there will be a lot of transformation and a lot of change. At least I think so. So yeah. So you say you don't have the green thumb, but Natasha, but why do they say the hardest is coming? And I think it's Natasha, I think it's because of what I personally think it's because of the wave. In other words, from a logical place, I don't think enough people have been, in the US, I don't think enough people have been tested. So I think there are a lot of people walking around that have COVID-19, and they're just continuing to do their thing and spreading it. So until once the tests really get out there, we're going to see a spike of diagnosis. Just like Senator Paul Rand, showing no signs, no symptoms, but he got tested and he has COVID-19. So he easily could be just this carrier who's in a very fine functional state. But every person he comes in contact with, we will all be butterflies. Yes, Lewis. Yeah. So that's why I think it's like I said, for me, it's the wave. It's like it comes in, and once it hits the shore, then it's gotta dissipate back out. So we can see the wave building, and then it hits, and then it goes back out. And I love, not to be this doom and gloom person, but I posted a video from my friend Fernando, who did an interview with Sylvia Browne's granddaughter, but then he also pulled out one of her old books, and she literally predicted in 2020 there would be this virus that would come in, it would be crazy, it would suddenly vanish, and then 10 years later it would come back and then vanish again forever. There's speculation that a Dean Koontz novel had the same things. If you want to know more about that, then find Fernando Marone, or just go to my website or my Facebook page and scroll down till you see that video I shared a couple of days ago. But you can go listen to him. He explains a little bit more of that. But it was really, really interesting. And I find it interesting in the sense of, we see a lot of these predictions, but yet we don't heed them. And, I understand why. I'm still, I went to Walmart to try to find paper towels and toilet paper today because somebody in the neighborhood app said that was there, and there weren't any. I think I was too late. But, I'm going out only to get, essential items. But there are a lot of people who have not really curtailed their life much, only around what's been forced on them, like not able to sit in a restaurant. And it's hard. It's hard for me. I'll be honest. It would be hard for me to not, do those things. So Anyway, yes, and Lewis said we will all be butterflies, and I have a feeling he's referring to a post I put up earlier today. There was a beautiful little caterpillar on a wall on my walk, and the caterpillar's message was, we're all about to go into our cocoon. And if you don't know what happens to the caterpillar, there's this little creature attached to the world, to the land. He goes into a cocoon, he spins himself, and he turns to mush. He literally dies to himself. And then he comes out a butterfly and takes to the air. So I absolutely see that for a lot of us if we learn. Many of us won't spin our own cocoon. Many of us will get in the cocoon and say, whoa, this is not what I planned, and we'll back out. Or many of us will come out of the cocoon and go, I don't understand what these things on my back are for. I'm a caterpillar. I'm not going to fly. I'm a caterpillar. We're not going to take flight. So, I think by now most of you know I love teaching by story and metaphor. So it's a beautiful metaphor. Linda said there should be a cure coming in the future. Mother Earth is bouncing back better than us. I agree with you, Linda. And, I do think there will be a cure coming. And just like other things, like how the flu can ravage us. Those are things that a lot of us have to work through and stay healthy and strong. I think it will be a big call for a lot of the world to really evaluate their own personal health, and hygiene, et cetera, et cetera. And not from a fear-based place, but, here's my standing behind it. I've always felt I was going to live to be like 120 years old. And this is at least for now 30 years. And I remember thinking, well, dang, if I'm going to live that long, I don't want to be feeble, trapped in a bed or wheelchair. So I've always tried to take as good care of myself as I can so that when I get to that age, at least I'm still moving and mobile and I can, share in my life. Because, and another thing to add on to that, the last couple of days I've said to Fabian, I said, gosh, is this what it's like to be retired, where you only have like one or two things throughout the day that you have to do, and the rest of the time you can sit and read or take a nap? I'm like, if this is what retirement is like, I got to plan a little bit better. But I also know that I will probably never fully retire. I will probably do this work when I retire from the Muggle world. Then I'll probably do this work more full time, speak and teach, and do a lot more stuff like that. So, and travel the world. I definitely will travel the world. So, all right, you guys. So I'm going to sign off, and thank you for hanging out, for showing up. And let me put this up here just in case. If you do want to get a session with me, I'm still offering the 20% discount, just March 2020. That can be a mindfulness session. We can do some tapping. We can just work on being mindful through any fear that may come up. We can do a tarot card reading, personal one. We can do, psychic or an animal communication. And then also if you go to my spread store, and I'll type this in the notes. Then you can, there's a bunch of spreads, like over 20 that I put a 20% discount on, and that's good through the 27th. And I'm pretty caught up, so I'll probably get you to those 12 to 24 hours, depending on when I get it. So thank you, Linda. You have a good day, and I will continue to stay positive. Cora, thank you so very, very much. Natasha, who else is Samantha, Lewis, Norm, all you guys and girls, thanks for hanging with me. And I will, let's see, what is today? That's the other thing. I feel like I'm on a cruise because I never know what day it is. A week from tonight, Sunday night, I will do another session. I think that was going to be a mindfulness session. And then Monday the 30th, V and I are supposed to do one of our, psychic shenanigans on a Monday night. That's the plan. We'll let you know because I put events. And know that I have two Facebook pages. One that is this one you're watching on, which is Mitchell Osborne, Animal Communicator, Tarot Reader, Mindfulness Coach, and then the other one, which is just Mitchell Osborne, because I shared this on that as well. So Shenanigans is over on the other page. I try to do more of my mindfulness and animal communication on this page, Mitchell Osborne, Animal Communicator, Tarot Reader. All right, namaste, stay safe and healthy, everybody. Until next time, thank you. Bye-bye.